I am not Joe Osborne. Joe Osborne is trying to catch a flight here to Toronto, so I'm pinch hitting here for Joe. We're gonna be there. We were gonna talk about maybe some NBA Summer League, some Olympics, but we're actually gonna fly through some baseball. I'm pinch hitting for Joe here. Joe's hopefully not stuck in another situation where his flight got canceled. He's on his way to the airport right now. But since I'm in a pinch hit spot, we're going to be talking mostly baseball, and I'm going to bring in Taco to talk about some baseball props here with us today. I have one prop. He has three. Let's get rolling right away. We're going to keep this really tight this show. You have a prop for O'Neal Cruz. What do you like for O'Neal Cruz, Taco?
I like him to drive in a run today at plus 145. He's heating up, hitting 335 with a 154 OPS over his last 7 games, including 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. He gets a really good matchup against Mets prospect Christian Scott here. It's just his 7th career start, and we're starting to see some big league bats catch up to him here. He's allowing a 252 expected batting average at this point and gave up 4 runs on 6 hits his last time out. Cruz has obviously been much better against right-handed pitching this season as well, getting them for a 274 average and an 822 OPS. And, when a guy like Cruz kind of gets locked in, like that power really plays in this sort of matchup. So I like him to drive in a run here at plus 145. That's also a 5-star prop projection over at Covers.
You got a little 5-star prop projection.
Jingles.
So I'm going with a home run prop here, and I'm going Jeimer Candelario to hit a home run. They're playing at Great American Ballpark, plus 470. Candelario is actually kind of got messed up a little bit handicapping this myself because he is a switch hitter, and I was like looking at splits, and I was like, what the heck is going on here with the splits? But then it was that's what happens when you wake up at 6 a.m. to do these things. But so I'm going Candelario, plus 470 to hit a home run. He's a switch hitter, but as a left-handed batter, he's 13 of his 14 home runs have come as a left-handed batter this year. He's facing right-handed pitcher Ryan Feltner from the Colorado Rockies. These splits kind of line up. Like Feltner, he's given up 12 home runs, 8 of those to left-handed batters. So against left-handed batters are hitting 313. They have an 882 OPS against Feltner on the season. Great American Ballpark, Great American Small Park. Everyone likes to call that. It's 92 degrees today. The sun is shining. That's what the weather projection says on the Covers website. And then also when you just kind of look at the projections, the projections kind of have this prop price at around like plus 310. So that like for a home run prop, this is a pretty big probability gap when this is sitting at plus 470. So plus 470, I'm going Jeimer Candelario to hit a home run. This will be my last home run prop before I'm leaving on vacation for about like 10 days. But I'm still doing dingers for dogs tomorrow. It's still going to happen. So please send me your home run props tomorrow. I'll post a tweet, reply to it. We still want to keep that going while I'm gone. So technically not the last home run prop.
Great job there, Metler, too, with the dingers for dogs. That was a lightning in a bottle there. Love it, buddy.
Yeah. Hopefully we need lots more winners so we can donate more money. Taco, you have another prop for us. Riley Green.
Your boy here.
He is an all-star. People are saying he's an all-star. What do you like for Riley Green today?
Yeah, you had to call me in, so I had to get a Tiger prop for you. So over 0.5 RBI for Riley Green as well. Another 5-star prop play over at Covers. This number is just absurd, plus 215. Green has been the most productive Tigers hitter this year. 17 home runs, 45 RBIs. Off to a good start this month as well, hitting 364 with a 12-13 OPS, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Over his last 6 games, Green also mashing right-handed pitching this season. 287 average, 925 OPS, and a really, really juicy matchup that I like against the rival Cleveland Guardians today. They're hitting the ball to this guy, Gavin Williams. He's just making his 2nd start of the season. He came up for, I think, about 15 starts last year and pitched okay, but started the year down in the minors. He made 5 starts at AAA Columbus, pitched to a 7.50 ERA there. And due to some injuries, the Guardians have had to call him up here, and he made his first start of the season last week, and he got mashed for 5 runs on 7 hits in just 4 innings against the absolutely terrible Chicago White Sox. So I like the Tigers to get some guys on board ahead of Green, and like him to drive in the runs, and particularly love it at this ridiculously huge number.
Yeah, it seems like a big number. It's also, I can confirm, it's hot here as well. So that the weather should help too. You have one more prop for us, Mitchell Parker. What do you like for Mitchell Parker?
Mitchell Parker, I'm going to take him to record the win at plus 195. You can get that over at Bet365. He's rookie. If you guys don't know, he's a rookie for the Washington Nationals. We're going to be looking at some Washington Nationals futures next year, I think, because this team has some really good young starting pitching. Guys like CJ Abrams in that lineup. Like this is a really good team to keep an eye on for futures bets in the next year or so. But Parker here been solid this year, 3.61 ERA with a 110 whip. 110 whip. But what I really like here is that the Cardinals really stink when it comes to facing Southpaws this season. Next to last in batting average, OPS, weighted runs created plus. I think they're 24th, which they have the 7th highest strikeout rate versus Southpaws as well. On top of that, Miles McCollum is really a hit or miss this season. Overall, 17th in expected batting average to opponents, 38th percentile in expected ERA. And Washington has been pretty solid. Like I've said, this young lineup's coming around. 8th in batting average, 11th in OPS, 12th in weighted runs created plus over the last month. So I think Washington might be the better team in this matchup, actually. And I know it's surprising to say because it's the Cardinals and everyone kind of expects the Nationals to be bad, but I think they get the job done here and hold the lead through 5 innings. And I really like that number at plus 185 for Parker to get the win.
You mentioned Nationals futures there. Are there any futures? So I know Jingles, I think Jingles jumped on the Guardians to have the best record in, I don't know if it was baseball or American League. I should have known that before I asked the question. It was one of the two. It might be American League. I think it was American League. And then Joe was also liking the Astros to win the division and also kind of looking at their World Series odds. Are there any futures that kind of pop to you at the moment right now? They were just talking about that last week.
That's a really good question. I was really on Wyatt Langford to win American League Rookie of the Year for a while, but that number is really, he was like plus 1,100, plus 1,200 2 weeks ago, and he just had a little hot streak, and Luis Heel from the Yankees has really hit a slump, so now I don't even know what it is right now. It was plus 300 when I was working last week. If there's any value on him at all, I'll see. No, I just looked up. He's the plus 180 favorite now. So don't love that as much. I don't really, I think there's probably still going to be some, it's crazy. Maybe the Yankees, we can kind of get some value with this slump of theirs. They're going to make some moves at the deadline. Maybe that's a team to look at in the futures market right now. I was high on the Orioles when the Orioles were behind the Yankees. It's always been about price, right? The Orioles were only trailing by a game and a half, and now they were still like plus 300 to win the division for some reason. And I'm sure that's flipped now with the Yankees slump recently, but those bats will come around. And I with Soto and Judge in that lineup, you can be competitive in any game. Obviously the pitching has been a big problem, but they're going to go ahead and address those issues at the trade deadline here in a few weeks. So maybe there's some value in the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm hoping speaking of making moves, there's like a huge war here in Detroit about should the Tigers trade Tariq Skubal or should they extend him? And like that would be, they're kind of holding on. I know Jack Flaherty's been injured, back and forth there a little bit with the back problems, but they're kind of holding on to 2 trade chips that if they do decide to move both pitching, like those are 2 big name pitching names they could move at the deadline. So I don't know. The Skubal thing is incredibly interesting because people think that they should try to go get bats with him instead
how
of
how many years does he have left in his contract? Like he's
still, I think he has maybe one more arbitration year.
Gotcha. And then free agency. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I prefer to move pitchers than position players, obviously. But then you guys, I know the Tigers are still trying to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out there. But if the Jays trade him, I don't know. That's it's going to be a sad time in Toronto. It's me. I'm following this team more closely than any sane person should. But maybe you can get Vladdy. But I'd rather the Jays just trade all of their pitching and maybe. Yeah, the Tigers could do the same. I don't know. Skubal, especially after that performance on the weekend. Oh, that's a tough sell, I think.
It would be a tough sell, but they kind of view it as a way to fix they don't have any bats, right? So that it could be a really quick fix to that. I don't know.
And that has kind of been the blueprint for building these teams, whether it's the Cubs that eventually won the 2016 World Series, or the Orioles more recently, just like these teams like just loading up on position players and then just figuring out the starting pitching later. So that's kind of, especially with like how starting pitch, like what do you need a starting pitcher to go 5 innings now? That's all you need. So yeah, position players seem to be the key to these situations now, these rebuilds.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how people are viewing it too. He also had injury problems kind of at the beginning of his career too, so they're nervous that obviously he's having a great season, but to throw a lot of money at a guy too who's had injury problems, I don't know. It's both ways. I'd be fine if they extend him. If they trade him, I need to see some really good prospects going back. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset. But Taco, do you want to let everyone know what you got going on the rest of the week, where they can follow you?
Well, I have my MLB player props all week long. You find those on Twitter at @covers_Caley. That's CALEY. Yeah, I'll be posting those all week. College football starting soon, so I think we got a meeting this week to discuss our strategy for college football. We'll see some conference previews coming soon, maybe some win totals. So really looking forward to getting into that as well.
Nice. I'm looking forward. I have some questions to you about college football, but we'll save those for a later date. There will be no Before You Bet on Wednesday. The guys will be back on Friday. They're on assignment in Toronto. I'm also leaving. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be actually at the Canada-USA basketball game on Wednesday. Olympics right around the corner. Canada's group, not as hard as I think people are making it out to be. So they should still be the favorites. They should still win it, in my opinion. We did tease NBA Summer League in our tweet that went out. There's a couple games in Utah tonight. Nothing too crazy that really stood out. I know Utah has, like, I think Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks. There's a couple of guys I'm surprised who are playing. I know it's only their second year, but they're seeing big minutes for the actual Utah Jazz team. So I'm surprised they might be playing tonight, but it is in Utah. So that's kind of thing. The real Summer League, in my opinion, we had the California Classic. Bronny James, 4 points. I saw his one. Most books were offering like a milestone, so you can do. There's just a one-way market. I did see one website had an over/under, and they had it at 9 points, and he scored 4. That was a California Classic over the weekend. But in my opinion, this real Summer League starts Friday, and I will also have boots on the ground. I will be at Summer League in Vegas, which I'm excited for. I will definitely be at the Orlando Magic game. That is the very first game against the Cavaliers. Probably the Lakers game to see Bronny James, because you just have to, and Dalton Connect. And then at that point, it becomes how many more games can I convince my wife to stay for? So, because the ticket's good for all the games.
That's the balance to try to strike there.
Yeah, for sure. So the boys will be back on Friday. Joe and Jingles will be back on Friday at 12 Eastern to do Before You Bet. That concludes our show. We only have the 4 picks today. And good luck with your bets, and enjoy the rest of your day.